to start the recording and just get us started. So some of you were here last week, but I think it bears just sort of reintroducing what this is all about. My name is Ichi. I've tried to change my name numerous times, but people stick to Ichi. They don't take to any other name, so I'll stick with that. This idea was born of a lot of conversations where people are struggling, trying to figure out which is better. Is it better to be self-employed? Is it better to be corporate employed? I'm not here to convince you one or the other. All I want to do with Wezesha is provide you with the information that will help you kind of evaluate yourself, your life, where you're at, and then decide if you want to either stay with corporate like me, 30 years plus, or be like Mukami, who just now on the record vowed that she'll never go corporate. So let's see. It's gonna be a fight between you and me, Jane. This is it. So welcome everyone. Again, the goal of this is just to provide you with information that will then help you decide where you want to go. I want to give a little shout out to BBI Design Solutions, who's sponsoring this event. We're using their Google Meet. If you're in the market for remodeling, renovation, I know some of you are customers of BBI. Please consider us, especially beginning of the year with all the resolutions you have. So consider us. So that said, Mukami, okay, look.
Well, before we're done, let me say that before BBI was BBI, Wawa decorated the current office I'm sitting in. This was her work. And this is 4 years ago.
What? And wait, okay. So credit to Wawa for decorating. Could you tell them I hanged up some of the pieces, like somewhere in the back? I broke down some boxes. At least I did some jobo, right?
No. You put together the desk, the gold and glass desk, the gold and brown bookshelf. You hang the images on my wall. So
me. I did that.
Wait, by the way, you and just her, you kicked me out of the apartment. I wasn't here.
Okay. Yeah.
So before BBI Design was BBI Design, I can tell you she's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that shout out. Amazing. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So let's get to it. Obviously, today I'm honored to host the GOAT. So Mukami, someone here mentioned the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So you've claimed that title, not by you saying it, but by people saying you are the greatest of all time. So accept it, and let me describe a little bit about you. So obviously I've known you like 20 years, like a long time.
Yes.
And you're a good friend, and beyond being a good friend, let me just describe some things that people have said about you, right? You're CEO, you're Harvard certified, award-winning weight loss coach. Yeah, you're a speaker, you're a best-selling author, you're part of the Women to Watch in 2024. I saw you on TV the other day. I was like, that's my girl. So you have all these accolades behind you. So welcome, and we're really, truly honored that you're here to give us some information about what you do and help us evaluate whether we want to go your route or stick my route corporate, yeah?
Your route it's slowly starting to diverge. Look at what you're doing now. Yeah, but we'll get to
it. Don't start with that. But I did this last time, and we haven't scripted this. I did not give you this in any of the prep notes, Mukami. So I'm going to put you through a little icebreaker, okay? The rules are simple. Don't spend time thinking about it. Don't contextualize if this, then, maybe, none of that. You just answer. Cool?
Okay.
In the spirit of one versus the other, corporate versus self-employment, I'm going to mention two things, and I just want you to respond with the one that comes first to your mind, okay?
Okay.
Squats or lunges?
Squats.
Burpees or box jumps?
Box jumps.
Treadmill or elliptical?
Treadmill.
Okay. So far, so good. I know you were home a couple of months ago, so I'm gonna make it a little bit more difficult here.
Okay.
Ndoma or gouache?
Of course, gouache. No doubt about that.
Okay.
Come on. I don't need paper. Okay.
Oh. Oh, that's what they call it nowadays, huh?
It tastes like paper. Ndomas taste like paper. They have no taste.
Okay. I thought they're like healthy. They give you that, six-pack and everything.
Washes do too. We're good.
Okay, good. Skumawiki or spinach?
Skuma.
Okay, this one's a tough one. Mandazi or mahamri?
Mahamri.
Okay. Chapo or ugali?
This will shock you. Ugali. I know.
Ugali over chapo?
Ugali over chapo.
All right. That's on the record. Huh? All these people who you've been training, they're listening to all of this, huh? and last one, this is everyone's favorite, right? Samosa or sausage?
Samosa.
Samosa? Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now we know a little bit about you. Squats, burpees, treadmill, and then of course gouache more than doma.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so let's get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your personal journey. Tell us a little bit about where did you start? You can start at whatever part that you want to, just to set the context for your business.
Wow, that's a very wide topic. Where tell you about me.
Yeah.
So personally, I like to take it all the way back and say, obviously, I was born in Kenya. I was born in Nairobi, Pumwani Hospital, to two young teenagers who had no idea what they were doing. The first time they ever had sex, I was conceived. So I guess I'm what they call a love child. Yes. So Nairobi born, Nairobi bred. I asked to go to boarding school, and at first my parents didn't allow me to, and then when my brother was born, they finally allowed me to. So I did not want to be in a day school. I thought it was boring and I needed to be away from home. So I went to boarding school since I was 12, and when I got out of high school, 18, a year and a half or a year or so later, I came to the US to go to college. Computer information systems major, spent 18 years in tech. That's when I ran into Ichi in the streets of Atlanta at some point in 2002.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so that's over 20 years. Can you imagine, huh?
That's 23 years ago. And we were both in IT, so we used to link up and talk about tech, and that's how our friendship started. And fast forward to 23, almost 24 years in the US, transitioning from technology into entrepreneurship, which is what now most people know me for or know me as. And it's been quite a journey. Let me start by saying that. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, thinking about how long maybe you operationalize the idea of your business through the fact that you are working in tech, right? This is what Leo was telling us last week. He said that one of the benefits of working or having a corporate job is for you to learn some certain skills, so that when you made the decision to run your own business, you had some skills, a skill set that you got from working. Did that happen for you as well?
I believe honestly that the background in tech prepared me very well for having an online business, because I understand, I'm very quick to pick up, tech things or online things, right? But more important even than the actual skill of whatever it is that your job is making you do is just the structure. You have to wake up every day, Monday to Friday, and log in or go to a job, and you have to leave us at a certain time. I remember when I quit my job the first time, it was like COVID. When people had to work from home, they were struggling. You're supposed to be logging in, working, and you're spending all day doing nothing. But being able to wake up and go to the office gives you structure. So I remember the first week I quit my job to work on my business, I was like, oh, I'm a CEO. I don't have to work. I can sleep all day. And then I had to snap out of it and figure out that you can be a CEO sleeping all day. And I had to go back to, I'm going to act just as though I'm waking up to go to work. And up until today and now, I've woken up, worked out. Every morning I'm sitting in this office at 8:30 a.m. I start working at 8:30. So that structure of corporate is still the same one that I operate on right now.
That's so good to hear, because a lot of people, when we talk about corporate versus self-employment, they talk about self-employment and the freedom that it avails. But I think I'm hearing you say, yes, there's the freedom that it avails, but then to be good at it, you have to continue to maintain the structure that helps with fluidity. Because if you know you're sitting at this time, your schedule is at this time, then that makes you or helps you grow your business, right?
Yep. So it's scheduling, it's setting appointments or planning to-do lists, setting appointments and meetings with yourself, and you actually stick to them.
Okay.
I know I'm always reminding myself when I don't feel like doing something, I'm like, if I had a 9 to 5, I would not just not go to a meeting because I don't feel like. I would show up and daydream, you know.
Mm.
So it's the same thing. I need to do whatever that's on my schedule and not slack because I'm the boss, you know.
Okay. So talking about that, let's focus on your business. So I watched an interview the other day, and then I've heard from a number of people on this call about the engagement they've had with you, right? I know you from back in the day, Fit Kenya girl, right? And I was like, okay, yeah, she's Fit Kenya girl, blah, blah, blah. And someone said, no, she's a business coach. I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like, so she has something else she does? So tell us about like your lines of business. Yeah.
So I'm gonna take it to the beginning. As most of you know, I just realized this is the first time I'm in a meeting with a lot of amazing women, most names I recognize, but I've really never been in a meeting with men.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so I think this is the first time most men are actually interacting with me. So, such an honor. So, guys, thank you so much. So, for the purpose of the men who might not know much about me, like the women who hear me share about my story, I'm going to go a little back. So, going from corporate came up as a result of me losing weight. A lot of people might be familiar with the fact that I lost weight at some point, and I started helping people based on the experience I gathered from my own self. I did have a really good coach who helped me with nutrition, and this was 2010. So when I decided to actually start doing something online, it was 2015. So it took about 5 years for me to even snap into, oh crap, I like this. I'm going to try and make it a business, which is help other women lose weight. And by then, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to open a gym. I thought I wanted to be a personal trainer. I thought I wanted to work with men. I thought I wanted to work with children. I hadn't figured it out. Fast forward to today, everything is very streamlined. I only work with women. I focus on nutrition. I don't do exercise. So that business grew thanks to this thing we call social media and the internet. Little factoid, if you've already talked to Leo came to know of me in 2011 when I started bodybuilding, and I'd share my photos on Facebook. And he lived in Cali at the time, and he knew my good friend Phineas Fini.
Yeah.
So they started doing YouTube videos for the 5 Minute Fix. And one of the first videos they ever posted was a video talking about me, how I used to be old school Jane was, had round cheeks, and now new school Jane has muscle. And that was a viral video on YouTube in 2011. That's how I came to know Leo. Because of Facebook.
Yeah.
So they were just going back to say the last time they saw me at rugby, I was drinking, I was rounder, and now I've done this 360 and I have six-pack abs, and so that's the power of social media. So fast forward a few years later, actually COVID happened, and during COVID, I remember people were struggling. And an idea was hatched by one of my business coaches. She said, you know what? You've built a successful, thriving business. By the way, I did not think that I've done anything extraordinary. I still don't, because the people who are around me and that I look up to are miles away from where I am, right? So she said, how about you try and do a program that's going to help other people grow businesses on Facebook, like you've done. And that is when I started helping women tap into social media and launch their passions, which is really service-based, pretty much coaching. And I know you spoke to Monga, and I saw her here. And Monga is an example of one such person. So it's, what have I done? What have I lived through? What have I done well? And how can I help other people do the same thing well? So one is weight loss. So that's my first business. The second is the online business. That's the second thing. So I wanted to just put things in context for the men who might not be very conversant with the things that happen behind the scenes.
It's so good to hear about the social business. No one, at least for me, I've known you a long time, but I never even thought that that was a thing, right? That is an actual social business until fairly recently. So thanks for telling us about that. One of the things that people ask a lot as they're trying to make this decision of corporate versus self-employment, should I stay in corporate, is they're looking for that thing, right? I spoke to someone this weekend who said, Ichia, I'm having an itch. I was like, yeah, we need to scratch that itch, but not yet. Let's talk to all these people, get information, and then you figure out whether you want to scratch the itch or not. So a lot of people, and that's the reason they're joining, is they have this thing, and I'm sure you had it. The difference between you and a lot of us is we say, okay,
one day,
and then one day, maybe someday, whatever.
yeah.
What is that turning point when you decide this itch is too much?
I'd like to use the analogy of the saying we all know very well, which is only what is it? Only the wearer of the shoe knows how much it pinches or how much it hurts, right? Ladies, when we dress up and we're looking amazing and we wear these shoes and everybody's complimenting us, but our feet are hurting, right? You can't wait to get in the car and kick them off, right? So the itch is similar to wearing shoes that are hurting, and they're going to hurt until you can't take it anymore. There's actually a funny story of this guy who used to deliver mail, and every morning he walked up to this guy's house. He would be sitting out on the porch in a rocking chair, and the dog would be sitting right next to him, howling in pain. So this mail delivery guy asked the guy, "What's up with your dog? Every time I come by, he's always howling in pain." And the guy was, "Oh, he's sitting on a nail." And the guy was like, "So why can't he get off the nail?" And the owner was like, "Obviously it's not hurting bad enough. Had it hurt bad enough, the dog would leave." Yeah. So it's the very same thing with this thing that we call the itch. And it starts off as a nudge. It's like, let me put it this way. You kind of feel like there's something else I should be doing. And I honestly think this starts in our late 30s, definitely in our 40s. And this happens when we are at a point where we are financially stable. We're no longer trying to meet Maslow's hierarchy of need pyramid. We can eat, we can pay the bills, the kids are taken care of, we have some extra money in the bank, we're bored. Right? If we're still trying to put food on the table, if we're still trying to make sure we can pay the rent, we would never be bored because we'd be trying to make things happen.
Yeah.
But the moment your basic human needs are met, you're no longer at the bottom of the pyramid. For Maslow's hierarchy of need just explains the human need hierarchy. So once you are at that point, you're looking for the next thing. And unfortunately for us, the next thing, because we've already been programmed that you keep a job or keep working till you retire, is you start to have these feelings bubbling up of, there's something else I should be doing. This cannot be my life, just waking up and working. And by the way, some of you might even like your jobs. I used to like what I did. I just knew that it wasn't 100% enjoyable or fulfilling, right? So the itch starts slowly And just like the dog, one day when that nail hurts really bad, you're going to have to move. But between then and now, you're going to churn. You're going to get stirred like dropping soil in water and watching the water turn brown. You're going to get churned. You're going to have sleepless nights. You're going to be like, I need to find my purpose. Been there, done that. And at some point, one thing is going to win. One thing is going to win. Your job is going to keep you handcuffed, or you're going to have to take the leap.
You know what? So I need to stop you there because now you just as my sister-in-law used to say, you're giving me a headache now, right? Because you're talking what we discussed in December, the things that were happening, and you told me this thing is never going to settle down. But I refuse. I am still going to challenge you. So here, let me share something on the screen over here real quick. So this is you and I, a month or so ago, right?
Yeah.
And you came to the place that I work. We ate lunch, and I loved watching that you actually eat like a normal person, and you saw all the all the things around me, and you saw the joy I had as I was describing my job and the things that I do. And I think a lot of people here probably, I really like you saying, as you go up Maslow's hierarchy, there's probably a point in time where job satisfaction is at an all-time high. My friend Susan Seda calls it the unification, or is it the unification point where you have a good skill set, like things are good.
Right.
Why should I give this 2 weeks get paid? I don't know, like 30 days PTO, carers leave. If I decide to have another toy, I'll have like 6 months. We're at a point where there's so much to give up, to your point that we've built for a number of people have built themselves to a place where there's so much to give up. How do you argue that?
I don't think there's so much to give up. So your current life is like a well-oiled machine. It's almost automated. You're not using a lot of energy to do what you're doing right now. Everything is easy, right? You're cruising. Your life is on cruise control.
Yeah.
Right? So that is where most people get to, and they're like, okay, life is good, but I think I want more. And actually, it's not even a thought. I promise you, it's a simple desire where something once happens and you're like, I wish I could go on vacation and take 2 weeks off without having to stress about using up my PTO. It's a desire. It's something that happens and it makes you feel like, I wish I could change this in my life. And it might be subconscious. For me, I know it was subconscious. I know I was just tired of, I had 2 to 3 weeks, not even 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks every year to take vacation. And the first 10 years of my life in the US, my mother had to see me every Christmas. Like that was not even a conversation. I came to the US when I was 20. So as a single mom, she felt as though she needed to lay eyes on me to make sure I'm okay, right?
Yeah.
And I know going home every Christmas was so stressful because I had to lie to get more time off. And that's what made me stop working as a W-2 employee in 2007. I incorporated an S Corp and I only did 1099 work because when it was time to go to Kenya, I was like, you're not paying me, so I'm gone for a month.
Okay.
I think that is the thing that came back to me in 2014 when I'm like, I'm always bitching around about time off and taking vacation time. My way of doing that is starting this thing that I'm good at, and people are kind of already letting me know I'm good at it and I enjoy it. I think I'm going to give this a chance because it's going to give me something I've been desiring, which is freedom as far as time is concerned and vacations. So I say this to say that the thing that will make you start questioning your current life, even though everything is on autopilot, is going to be a very almost like offside thing. It's the fact that your brain is registering you're desiring a better life, and suddenly realizing that that better life is not going to happen in the current model that you're operating in, which is a 9 to 5. Now, I am not asking you to quit your job and go to the mountains and figure out what to do. No, I didn't do that. I actually was using the money from corporate to figure things out, channeling that money to figure things out on the side.
Okay.
So use your corporate gig to build your side gig. I had the luxury of being able in 2014 to quit my job. I saved up a lot of money and I said, if I don't work for 2 years, I'm all set.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try this thing. If it doesn't work out, I'm going to come back and get a job.
So let me think about that a little bit, right? So there's a lot of things happening at the same time, and maybe some of them you're not choosing like here's the book that says how I should do it. There's the itch you're getting. There's the desire to move off of autopilot. There's the discovery of who you are. There's the, okay, maybe if I save and I start doing this side hustle, there's all these things that are happening around the same time, right? Mm-hmm. So there's reading this research talking about businesses, about entrepreneurship and running a business. And they said that there's 4 things that typically trigger someone to start a business. One is opportunity, right? They see an opportunity, a market niche, and they decide, I'm going to go for it. The other is resources. You have people who have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. So they have resources and they start a business. Then there's a passion, and we'll talk about that because I have a very specific question about passion and purpose, right? A passion project which becomes a business. Then there's the event. Something happens in your life, and because of that, you realize that you want to start the business. Maybe you get laid off, and that's okay, now I'm done with corporate. But there was this other one that asked you about it. I'm going to ask you about it. I'm curious about it, which is like it's in the DNA. You know how in Kenya we say cukes like business people naturally. Is there a DNA, a gene for a business person that makes them not satisfied with corporate? Like it's just in their gene. Do you think?
I don't think so. I think everything is a response is a response or a reaction to something else. They have this funny saying that what is it? C students employ A students, right? That A students are great employees, but B students something and C students employ A and B students. Honestly, I think I never thought I was cut out for entrepreneurship. I'm like, I've never been a boss, not to mention my mother was an entrepreneur since she was 22. So she did not want me to be an entrepreneur. Her thing was she hustled, she built a business. She only got an education up until Form 2. She had to drop off at 16 because my grandparents had to educate my aunts and uncles. So coming from a single mom who was not educated but that built a business, her way to freedom was education. She did not start a business. And I've told this story where she and I fell out for 6 months because I refused to go back to school for an MBA. And my answer to her was, I don't want an MBA because I don't think I'll be in tech forever. I'm going to build a business online for fitness. And this conversation happened in 2011. And she looked at me and thought I'd lost my mind. She's like, what do you mean? You came here to go to college. You came to the US to go to college for tech. You've been working in the industry. Why would you start a business? You're going to get an MBA. And I said, Mama, if I get the MBA, I'm getting the MBA for you to say I'm educated, but I don't want it. Now, us talking to our African parents that way is disrespect. So she didn't talk to me for a few months.
It's so funny you talk about that. Just today, I went to this Jin Cuisine. This is a Chinese shop we go to get food. Been going there for, 10 years. So the person who owns the business, Jin, has someone who's now 16. I've seen him from when he was 6. Like he's always in the shop. She's always making, Chinese food. The only day she has off is Tuesday when she goes to buy product. The rest of the time, she's just toiling there. And every time she's there, she's like, yeah, you know, you need to get my son a job. You need to get my son a job. You need to get my son a job, right? And the irony in that, she's running a business. He's been there, like, he started, he was the guy serving people. Now he bags, he even cooks, right? But she still wants him to get a job. And Leo called it last week, he called it post-colonial something syndrome, right? But I think there's some merit to that. There's some merit to the desire to put your kids through education so that they can get a good job, not necessarily with the end goal that they'll start a business, but just to set them up for, I don't know, you know, salary for 1K, education, whatever it is.
It's always,
how do you combat that?
It's always our parents want us to have what they couldn't have, when sometimes what they couldn't have or what they had served them better, but they want us to have the best. And the best according to society is you've gone to school, you have a good job. That is society's way of, you're stable, you're doing good. That's the path that's been set. So yeah, he wants you to get the kid a job, but the kid could probably help him franchise the business.
Right?
You know?
So then I think thinking about that and how difficult it is to shift that mindset. Tell us, at what point does that mindset shift for you to take that first step? So basically, when and how do you pivot, having that mindset that a lot of us had in terms of growing up? Corporate is the way to go.
It's scary, it's daunting. It's like, it's almost like you're standing on the edge of a cliff looking down, and you know if you jump you're going to die, or that's what your brain is telling you. And your brain is also telling you, just stay here, this is safe, this is familiar. It's very scary. And by the way, even if you start the business and the business is doing well and you have to keep growing, that fear never goes anywhere. So my way of overcoming the fear was putting a fail-safe of, I'm going to do this. If it doesn't work, I'll always have a job. I can always apply for another job, right? So that was my way of tricking myself into feeling like, okay, I'm just taking a step forward, and if I fall, I'll get up and move back.
Okay.
So, because the truth is, you'll never be ready to take the action, and there'll never be a right time. It's going to be, for those of you who have a passion you already have right now, and you're already working in it or developing it, you might think, okay, until I get here financially, I'm not going to grow the side business. But when I tell you that whatever it is that I was doing in corporate, and I thought I was making good money, I don't have children, I'm not married, you know, making 120, 140K a year, this is 10 years ago, that's good money. And there's also the part of the business or the side hustle is not making as much money as the job.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. But again, it's the double-edged sword. It's comfort right now, but what if you did something you've never done before, and give yourself permission to go all in and watch what happens? So before you started recording this session, you told me that you asked me, would anybody ever convince me to go back to corporate? And my answer was, I'd never go back to corporate. Because the money I thought was good money back then is probably what I make in a month or two. Why would I go to corporate?
Yeah, we talked about this last week. I gave the story of David Beckham, and you work to be the best in your sport, right? To go to the best team. But even in the best team, you're capped to how much you can make, right? So I think what I'm hearing you say is that you could probably make so much more outside of this cap, this box that's been created for you in corporate. If you take that risk and you believe and you put all these things into place to start your business, then there's no cap. And in fact, you're not convincing me yet, by the way. I'm just stating it for the people in the meeting. Eh? Me, I'm still corporate, pingu until until 75, right? But we were talking this weekend with some people and talking about there's a certain amount of money you can make in corporate that's fairly comfortable.
Yeah.
And then there's a big, your boss will never pay you enough to be his or her name. I like that.
There you go.
I like that. But there's a transition where you're making 400, 500, 600, 800. Then there's suddenly people who are making 25 million, 30 million. So as like give me a raise, give me stocks, give me bonuses. That transitionary jump, something has to change. And if for you that change is not being in those CEO circles where you make that amount, then I'm hearing you say that change means get out, you have what it takes, and just figure stuff out.
Yeah. If you cannot or will not, it's almost impossible to be invited in to sit at that table. Go create your own table. Yeah.
Say that again. Go do what?
Go create your own table. You're waiting to be promoted to be a CEO or a vice or a C-level position to get to that big money. You're waiting to be worthy. You're waiting to do this, that, and hit this KPIs at an organization, right? While you can go with your 2 mishumaris and your hammer and just start building your own thing. Your own thing has no limits.
Man, I wrote that down. Go create your own table. That's profound. Because right. I think that's what, in some ways, we're not told to do it. Like it's hidden from us. And I have this guy coming week 5, Carl, and he'll talk about why that is. Even in America, where you can see it happening with other people, we still feel so confined to those boxes. So listen, go create your own table. You heard it here. That's awesome. That's great. Okay, so now let's focus on running your business. Yeah. So, what surprised you when you started the business? What is there anything that surprised you?
Of course, there's certain things you can never be told until you go through. It's like you don't know, as a woman or even a man, you don't know what it feels like to be a parent until you become a parent.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is like to give birth and have a baby as a woman until you have a baby. You might even have been there for your sister's birth, but you're not the one who had the birth. You know what I mean? Same with entrepreneurship. There are things that you don't know and you'd never understand until you go through the journey. The first is, when it comes to, what do we call it, character development, this is where it happens. This is where rubber meets the road, because you're the one who has to stay in the saddle when the business isn't making money, when there are challenges, you don't know what you're doing wrong. You might really have a passion for bringing this side hustle to life, but you don't know where to start. And even when the business starts, how do you keep it going? How do you make sure, okay, this month I made some money, can I make some money next month? Or this year I kind of was in the positive, can I do this again and again and again, to where eventually it balloons to, okay, I've kind of made it, I can relax. Yeah, so your business grows at the level at which you're growing as a person. Because when I tell you it's constant stretch, it's constant stretch. I've seen a lot of people, and I'm so honored and I'm so flattered when I see people online over the last maybe 2, 3, 4 years, especially our Kenyan people who are trying to coach online, who are doing their things online. I feel proud and I'm happy for them, because they get it. Social media is here to stay. right? Social media is not going anywhere. However, how many people on social media still trying to make it make sense? How am I going to get people to pay me? How am I going to get people to know about what I do? So social media and the online space and just being an entrepreneur, there's always this, I've done the work, now I want to open the shop. It's opening day, you open your doors and you're like, okay, will anybody come? What's going to happen? You're literally holding your breath. And when I tell you it's mental, it's anxiety, depression in the entrepreneur world is not talked about a lot, but it's real.
You know, we talked about this last week. I think I put it in my notes here. So I think it's a good time to bring it up, right? So one was a question came from Kevo, and I'll throw all of these, then you can sort of like talk through them. One was that whole thing of technical skill growth and development, right? When you're in corporate, you have trainings. You now AI is here, so here's training on AI. So you get at the expense of the company, you get to learn and develop your technical skills, right? Then Nancy, I hope Nancy is here, but if she is not, I'll send this to her because she asked this question. How can we be more transparent about the struggle? And that's what I'm hearing you say when you talk about the anxiety and all of that. And I see it with Wawa on a daily basis, because not only are you pursuing your passion and your dream, but you're the person, you're the financer, you're the salesperson, you're the marketing person, you're the operations person. Then if you have employees who are not, doing things on time, you're the HR person, right? You're taking all these roles. And the question she had was, how can people be, I'm paraphrasing, be more transparent about all these struggles? Because all we see is the outcome, right? We don't hear or see the struggles. Then I'll give you one more, then I'll turn it over to you. The stress management. And this was, Wagura asked this, how do you stress manage? How do you maintain your mental health? So I've thrown a two or three things there: stress management, mental health, being transparent about the struggle, and then your own growth and development. Because if you don't, then you'll run out of business fast because someone else is doing something quicker, faster, and providing more value than you are.
So I'm going to answer the first question. I think it was maybe 12 years ago, Elon Musk was interviewed and he shared this story where he had just made a couple $1,000,000 from liquidating from PayPal. He was a stakeholder in PayPal. And after getting this millions, he took all that money and he put it all in, I believe it was a lot of money. He put it in Tesla, right? And when he put it in Tesla, he was left in a 1-bedroom apartment with only a bed. And he was asked, okay, why would you do that? You just got millions. And he said, when you have a lot of money and you're trying to grow, the way what he does with his money is he separates himself from it so he can feel poor again and like he needs to work. Right? And I say this to say there are different ways of hustling. When I first started my business, I talked about moving to Kenya in 2014. I don't know if I talked about that, quitting my job in 2014, moving to Kenya saying, I don't know what I'm doing, but if I can figure it out, I'll go back to corporate. Then I came back to the US. 2017, I went back to corporate and I told myself, I'm working for 12 months and then I'm quitting again to really build the business. And when I quit my job in 2018, the money I'd saved up as my safety net while growing the business, I lost that money. I trusted people I shouldn't have trusted. So I was at the crossroad of, okay, I can go back and get another contract in tech tomorrow, next week, and make more money and save up for another year, or what do I do? And then I just found the perfect person that I knew would help me build my online business. So it's, what do I do? I have no money. I think I had like $500. So I went to Wells Fargo. I took a loan and I paid this guy I didn't know. And I had to focus and work with him for 12 weeks. For 12 weeks, I paid him 12 grand. And I was grinding like a mad woman. And the reason I'm giving this story is this. When you're starting from the bottom with nothing, your grind is different.
Yeah.
Than when you're starting to build something, but your bills are paid. 3 years prior, before 4 years before that, I was working corporate and I'd hired another coach. I paid a lot of money, but because I wasn't struggling, I promise you, I did not show up for that coach. I wasn't hurting.
Yeah.
My bills were paid. So I'm saying that to draw the similarity with Elon Musk. When he doesn't have money, he grinds harder. When you're comfortable, you grind, but there's still food. The kids are going to school, right? So when you're grinding, there are different levels to the grind. There's the balls to the wall, this shit needs to work grind because I have no money for rent grind. That grind is different. Then there's the grind of life is going okay. I have a family. I have a full-time job. I want to start this business, but I need to put in so much time and do everything. It's too much. But if the thing that you feel is too much can be the same thing, can also change your life in a few years, there needs to be perspective. Why are you even trying to start the business then? So it's, if you're starting the business while working corporate, what's the statistic in the US? How many businesses are started a year and how many fail? Does anyone remember the statistic? It's sad.
Yeah. It's probably like in the first 6 months, right? 6 months to a year. It's probably more than divorce rates. It's like 60 to 80%, I would imagine. I think it's pretty high. No?
I remember it. Let me see how many businesses started each year.
I hope you're using Google, by the way, yeah?
Of course, Ichi. What else would it be?
Okay.
Okay, so there are millions, 5.1 million filed, businesses filed. How many businesses fail? I used to know these stats like the back of my hand. I forgot them. So it's how many businesses fail in the first year. They say around 20%. By the time you're in year 3, 4, it's 45%. What I'm trying to say is everybody is trying to start a business, but very few people succeed in staying.
Yeah.
So if you think you want to start a business, first ask yourself, what's the goal? You have to start with the end in mind. My end in mind was, I want to travel. I want to be gone when I want to be gone. I want to work online. I do not want to be tied in the US, in Kenya. I just want to do what I want to do, but my laptop is all I need. Yeah, that was my why. On top of that, I was broke and I owed Wells Fargo money. Oh, not to mention I'd filed for bankruptcy. So my life was shit, pretty much.
So wait. So okay. So you filed bankruptcy. You've gone through like corporate was good. Yeah, sort of now thinking this, I'm gonna go with this grind, and then now you start seeing, yeah, the grind is real, right? So there's two kind of perspectives I'm hearing here. Is that one, if you're grinding, you probably put more of yourself. And I think that's true for a lot of us Kenyans, right? We came here to do 3 jobs, 4 jobs, dare me to work more than 1 job today, right? Like it's impossible. We're kind of more comfortable. But when you're grinding, you put everything out there. But then also what I'm hearing, and this is something I'm very interested in understanding, is that mindset that says, even though I'm broke, even though I filed for bankruptcy, even though I've been cheated, like all of this, that adds fuel to the fire and doesn't stop you from that ultimate dream that you're pushing. So you have to create, all of us have to create for ourselves, whether it's corporate or business. We have to create for ourselves, let's say, a purpose, something that we feel very strongly about. And I know for you, it's defined by what people say about you, Jane. They say all that you've done for them, not only in helping them better their lives and those of their families, but helping them feel good about themselves. So I see that that is your purpose, is to be in service of others. But in doing so, you've been able to monetize it into something that helps you. And did you, could you ever have dreamt that when you were putting server blades in some computer company in Kenya?
No, not at all. Not at all. And all of us, everyone, or some people are always trying to figure out, okay, yeah, I'm 45, I'm 40. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know if I quit my job, what I would even do. And first, the thing that you're supposed to be doing is something you already know at this age in your 40s. It's something that's very simple to you, something that your friends and family tell you, oh my God, you're really good with finance or career coaching, whatever the thing is. So I like to tell people, do not try and recreate the wheel. Your business, your side hustle could be you teaching people something that you're good at your job, helping people get over an experience that you've been through, or teaching people something that is helpful. It's literally that simple, right? So sometimes people go too far trying to find out what their passion is. Mine was, I lost weight, I can help people. And I didn't see it. I always used to think I was meant to do something else. But here we are, it's still weight loss, right? So it's not very far-fetched. There's something you asked me and I just forgot about it.
I want us also talk about the mental stress management and mental health, right? So for you, you're grinding daily,
Yeah.
you're putting pedal to the metal. How do you de-stress?
For me, that's why I exercise. That is my superpower. So apparently it's aligned with what I do, but really I wouldn't be able to do the many things I do if I didn't have exercise, because exercise is what helps me manage anxiety, gives me a mental clarity, it decompresses me, and it's just part of what I do now. It's my number one tool for managing stress.
Is working out.
Mine is working out. I also do try to meditate when I can, or just take some time in the day to be quiet and go within. But honestly, like today, I've had 12 calls. I've been in 2 meetings. I've had like a very long day. So that didn't happen, but I still exercised at 5:30, you know? So that's my tool, because I know without good mental health, I wouldn't be able to serve my clients. I wouldn't be able to run the businesses and grow the businesses.
Okay. Last week when we spoke with Leo, we went over 1 hour, went to like an hour, 40 minutes.
I have a feeling that might be happening.
Okay. So you're okay with it? Because I know like everyone is literally going to raise their hands when I allow them to do so. So,
okay.
but I also want to be very, I'm cognizant of all that you have to do and the rest that you need. So I do want to I'll ask one last question, then I'll open it up. Then of course I'll come back for others. For me personally, and I know with a lot of the people I've spoken to about this, imposter syndrome, right? This is the phenomenon where you look around and you're like, man, these people think I know what I'm doing, right? If only they knew that I don't think I know what I'm doing, yeah? So it happens for a lot of us in corporate, and I imagine it happens in self-employment. Tell us about your imposter syndrome and how you battle it.
Oh, that's my middle name. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, imposter syndrome is my middle name. I'm like, listen, I don't know what I'm doing. All I'm doing is waking up every day and saying, can I just get through today with what I need to do? I'm going to figure out the rest later. And I say that jokingly, but that is true. It's absolutely true. And the one thing that, for those of you who've worked with me in my online business coaching program, they can tell you that my rule is Do it afraid. You're scared, do it. Most of you who knew me before when I was working in tech, when I got into business coaching and weight loss coaching, I remember wondering, okay, what's Joanne going to think? Joanne has known me since 2001. She knows I'm in tech, and all of a sudden I'm on Facebook talking about I'm a weight loss coach. She's going to think I've lost my mind. When did I become a weight loss coach? What experience do I have? So one, this fear of what are the people who know me going to say about me? And let me tell you, the people closest to us, our friends and family, are the hardest to convince about our new identity or our new gig, because they only know us in one way. It's easier for you to convince a stranger who your new title is than the people who know you. And that's why there's the saying, a prophet has to leave the village, because the villagers will not sip your Kool-Aid. You have to go to the neighboring village where nobody knows you.
Oh, that's too cool. Yeah. The
Go
villagers won't drink your Kool-Aid.
they won't sip your Kool-Aid. They'll be like, Angalia uyu, like, look at this one. But if you go out there and you do it afraid, and other people start to recognize and share that what you're doing, your stuff, then the villagers start pulling up the stool. They're like, hey, tell us, what is this thing you're doing? But in all honesty, yeah, it's fear, it's imposter syndrome, because imposter syndrome is driven by the fact that we're not certain of what we're doing. You can go out there and decide to be a coach, decide to be whatever type of entrepreneur, but it's not guaranteed that it's going to work. So every day is this going to work? It worked yesterday. Is it going to work today? You don't know. It's the unknown. It's the uncertain. It's very uncomfortable. But once you get used to knowing that this is just how it goes, you get comfortable in the uncomfortable and just roll with the punches, then you get surprised.
True character development. So I know I said I'll open it up, but I want to make sure you answer this question though, about growth and development. I know you swear by coaches, right? Like, you are committed to coaches, and then huge congratulations, Harvard. You went in and you wanted to perfect your craft, get more science behind a lot of the things you do. So it looks like you are very intentional about your growth and development so that you can turn around and serve your clients, right? How difficult or how easy is it? In corporate, sometimes you have to do it because it's a compliance. You have to do this training. Now you're running your business. What mindset, and then what things do you have to put in place to force you to grow and develop?
The last question, what things do I have to put in place? One is understanding that when I started my business, maybe my first big goal was, if only my business can make me 120, 130,000 a year. If it could just make me what I made in corporate, right? But over the years, and for most of you, after you've been doing something, there's always the next level. So whatever it is that helped me make 100,000 a year, when I'm trying to make 500,000, I need to grow. I need to do things different, right? And you can only grow your business to the level at which you've grown. Your business can never surpass your personal growth. So the container, the mental and emotional container of you at $100,000, that container needs to grow to hold $1 million. And for the container to grow, that means you first have to grow. So that's what I've learned. So I gave you the story of how my first coach in 2018, when I was broke, was 12 grand for 3 months. So every year, as my business is growing and I'm thinking of, okay, I want to keep things growing, I'm growing as a person too, because the things I was doing for 100,000 a year business are not the same things I do for 500,000 and more. So if I'm going to level up, then I have to first level up mentally as a person. And then I need to find the person who will take me to that next level. That's why I never, ever, ever, I've had a coach every single year since 2018, a business coach. I need someone to hold my hand and show me the ropes. And over the last, since 2018, how many years is that? That's 5 years, going on 5 years now. I'm counting my fingers under the desk. It's going on
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 6.
It's going on 6 years. Ever since 2018, I've had 4 business coaches. So every year I enroll and work with one coach for an entire year. They get me to one level, and then I either stay with them or I move on to the one who will get me to the next level. That's my way of doing it. The quickest route to get to anywhere is a straight line. And that straight line for me is not trying to figure it out on my own. It's, I'm going to pay you to show me how you did it so I can do it too.
You know, Gilo is over here, so we can talk all things football. And my buddy, my Chelsea guy, Mike Mutua, is here also. Even the best players had to be coached. A player cannot just decide they're going to, if we're talking soccer, they're going to leave the rest of the 10 players and play by themselves. In fact, we talk about this with Gilo. There's this team called PSG who at one point in time had the 3 best players in the world, arguably, Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, but still they couldn't win the Champions League, right? So the point here is that even with your own talent and your own skill, that is not enough. And what I'm hearing you say, I can speak for myself, and I think Kenyans in general, we think we know things, and we've also been raised that struggle is a sign of success. Like, let's just figure it out. Let's just kind of do it, figure it out, because that's the way to then show that you are successful because you walked 10 miles. Like, remember, we used to be told, I walked 10 kilometers up the hills, down the valleys, right? And we want to do that. But what I'm hearing you say is, look, invest in yourself, put that money into a coach who will hold you accountable, just like the best players have coaches who hold them accountable, and you will see gains. Why recreate the wheel? Is that what you're saying?
Let me give you a practical example. Is Monga here? I think I saw Monga.
Yeah, my sister is here for sure.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, was it not 2 weeks ago I shot you a DM? I'm like, hey, Monga, I need a call with you. I have all this money sitting here and I need to buy stocks. Why would I go figure it out on my own when I can pay Monga to figure it out for me and just tell me put this much here and that there? Like, why?
You haven't set up that appointment, by the way.
I know, because I'm busy I just finished that weight loss challenge, so I'm busy for the next week and a half. Exactly. But I have your calendar. Yeah, but when I need to do something, I don't think about, okay, let me go on YouTube and Google. I'm like, who do I know who can get me there like this? Find them and say, hey, I need to know how to do this and that done. Simple.
Can I have a little plug? Can I make a little plug?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I started my business, I was doing all the things that I thought that I should do. I was posting stuff, but I felt like, I was just not getting any traction. And I'm like, I think that I have this good thing. I know what I'm doing. I just knew once I announced my business, I just knew it would be gangbusters. I just knew I was gonna be big, right? But it wasn't happening. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I started to hear about this Mukami, Jane Mukami. I'm like, Jane Mukami, who's that? Who's that person? All roads seem to lead to Jane Mukami, right? So I DM'd her. I said, hey, can I, work with you? She says, no, wait your turn. You wait for the boot camp, So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait for this boot camp. And then once I got in the boot camp, I started to see everything that I was doing wrong. Mm-hmm. I started to see everything that I was doing wrong. I started to see how the way I was showing up wasn't in a way that would resonate with, I wasn't speaking to anyone. It wasn't a way that would resonate with anyone. I wasn't working. Once you meet somebody that knows what they're doing, you're going to realize all the ways that you didn't do it right. And then once you start that path, then you see oh, when I said that, all of a sudden people are commenting, people are sending me messages, people are now starting to pay attention because I'm doing things the right way. I would have never known. I was off Facebook for a very long time. So when I came back on, I just thought it's like, oh yeah, Facebook, I'm going to get back in touch with everyone, and everyone is going to see what I'm doing, and everyone is going to ask me, and I'm going to have all these clients. I'm not going to know what to do. Did not happen until, I got some traction, but not until I took that boot camp and I started to learn how I should be showing up. And the difference is amazing.
You
Right.
you heard it here first.
Mhm.
And we're going to be talking with Monga on Tuesday. So
And
all
on
of you-
Tuesday, I'm going to be done up.
you're going to be done.
I'm gonna be all dead. I'm going to be dead.
I love it. Monga is like my sister from another mother, for real, for real. Love you, love you.
Yeah,
so
but
I mean,
that's an example of when you're trying to, for those of us who are entrepreneurial, I can tell you how many times people tell me, I was trying to invest money and I listened to this person, my friend, my sister, they told me to put it here and I lost the money. I'm like, are they experts? And they're like, no, they just thought they knew. I'm like, you should have gone to somebody who's done what you need to do and have them show you. Like, so Monga was just an example of someone who I know who worked with me on their online business and they succeeded. So when I need help in stocks, I'm not going to waste time or ask someone who doesn't know. I'll go to someone who's the goat of how to make money in the stock market, right? And that's what
all right. Okay. So I'm going to go on mute because I can talk to you forever. Because even right now, I was just thinking about, so Mukami and I used to have lunch at this like Thai place off of Hainesbridge. Remember that little Thai spot? And I remember you were working out and you're like, okay, there's something. And that's why I keep going to that DNA thing, because you're saying, okay, there's something. I think there's something I need to be doing. Should I be selling like vitamins? Like you already, like you are thinking something, right? And so getting to where you are, and I love, the FitKenya girl and everything you've done. But just as much as I love that is what you've done for all these people in helping them figure out what their purpose is to the business they're trying to form. So you are the goat for that. All right, I'm gonna go on mute and, hands raised, fire away while we still have her.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, ask away or comment away, either way.
And if you don't, I'll keep talking. Okay, Eve speaks.
Hi. I guess I'll go first since everybody else is silent. Mukami, I love you. I love you dearly. And I still have my pact with you. I'm coming. But the one thing I have learned, because I've taken a few of your challenges, the 10-day challenges through the years. I think I've taken a couple of them. And one important thing that I learned from you way back when I was starting thinking about businesses and stuff is understanding your avatar, understanding that your family and friends are not your avatar, meaning they are not your ideal client. And that thing really released me, because I used to think like, if I'm selling this thing, why is my cousin not paying for it? Like, they're the ones who are supposed to be paying for it. And I'm like, when I heard you say that so succinctly, I was like, I can never look at them the same way. I'm like, now I have to pivot and find clients who are actually needing my service. And that was a really big lesson. So thank you for that. It was a freebie from one of your challenges and have carried it through the years. Now, the other freebie I want you to tell me, because I know we don't get free consultations with Jane Mukami.
Are smart.
So, I'm pivoting into the coaching for high school kids through the high school to college application process and all that. And it's, yes, they say start, and yes, you start. And then the imposter syndrome, like you were saying, you go in and everybody has all these funnels and convert kits and email respondents and, oh my God, how do I get clients and who's going to come to my webinar? I had one the other day on Tuesday and I had to call my little nephews and nieces and I'm like, make sure you come. So at least I know I have you guys and my kids, you know, in case nobody else shows up, I'll have them. I won't be talking to myself. What is the one advice you tell beginners? Like, it's so much out there, and you look at others, but others have been doing it for a much longer time. You know, I can't compare myself to you, but then again, it's human. I'll compare myself to you, and I'm looking at your processes and your systems and all these things, and I'm like, let me just go back and sleep. Let me go back to corporate.
Yeah.
So go.
So your question is, you had your first event and there's the nerves. Ichi is doing this event. We have about 14 people here. I think we have 22 people. And one of the questions I asked Ichi, was it yesterday or day before, is like, how many people signed up? And you told me maybe 100 or so. The conversion rate or the show up rate for virtual events when they're free is 30%. So if 100 people say they're coming, they're not coming. Only 30 will come if you're lucky. Okay? So there are conversion rates. There are numbers you need to know so you can know if you're going to hit a certain target based on what you're doing. How do you navigate as a newbie in the online space? Right now, I'm speaking to those of you who are trying to do the online thing. You don't need funnels. You don't need autoresponders. When you're getting started, you just need Facebook and people can DM you and you can have conversations. You don't need websites or any of that. Why? Because most of the time, when you're starting something, the focus should be getting people in the door. So you're going to procrastinate and do busy work on the tech instead of focusing on the marketing part of it, which is getting people to come. Monga and others who've worked with me in OBA will tell you, when we got started, Monga already had a website when she came. But my clients who work with me on their online businesses, all I want you to have is Facebook and Zoom. The rest is all dependent on your messaging. It's how do you talk to people on Facebook? What do you say? How do you say it? When do you say it? And what's the call to action? Or what are you asking them to do? You can have a beautiful looking website, and as somebody said, nobody will ever know about it because on Facebook, they're not even reading your posts. How do you create content where somebody reads the message and feels like you're talking to them? The marketing and the content is the secret sauce of the online space. If you can't master that, you can't grow a business online. And that is why I have the program, which I run, by the way, once a year. I do a boot camp in March or April, end of March. So I might share the link in Ichi's group if you're interested in coming for it's now a 5-day boot camp. And then from the boot camp, if you want to work with me, you join the program after that. So there's a secret sauce to it, which is marketing. Eve, do you need the fancy websites, the funnels, the autoresponders? No. Number one is messaging, because you can set up all the tech. You can build it, but will they come? First, you need to make them come, make you money, then you can take that money and go build the tech.
You know, what I'm hearing, this is so funny because as you're talking through that, I'm putting my corporate hat on, and it's literally like here in corporate again, because you were talking about, conversion rates, like there's operations. It's actually operations, right? Isn't it?
It is. You do a sprint, you launch it, you come back and iterate, make some changes, run it again, look at the numbers, look at performance. It's corporate.
It is. And you have like a roadmap, and you have like,
Right.
action register of all the things that you need to do by when. And then even more than that, like what you said was so good, right? Is make people feel like you're speaking to them. That's what we do on a daily basis. And if I can even take it to this point of saying what differentiates a leader from a good leader is that empathy that they provide, so that people who come in and talk to them feel like you are the only one I'm talking to, right? And so you're doing it at scale, but not losing that part where Eve can actually get off the mic and transparently tell you, I am going through this. How do I do it? So, okay, there is some alignment here between corporate and self-employment. So I'm still corporate for now. Maybe by the end of this call. Okay, and you can send people my way. You know, I can help them out. All right, Monga, I see your hand raised.
Eve, did I answer all your questions?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And congrats on doing your first masterclass. It's scary to put yourself out there and tell people to come on Zoom and they're people you've never met. And yes, your friends and family will never buy from you, and that's okay.
Amen to that.
All right,
Monga?
Monga.
Yes. So Jane, I wanted to ask you, what's next for you, girl? Like, what's like? I look at you and I look at all the money you're making, and I'm like, if I were you, I'd be done. Like, what is she still doing?
Wait, Jane, before you answer that question, Monga, why aren't you asking me what's next for me? Kwani me, I'm not.
I'm waiting for my mic drop on Tuesday.
Okay, because corporate is treating me okay. I think I'm okay.
I'm waiting for my mic drop on Tuesday. I'm gonna change your mind on Tuesday.
All right.
I don't know, Monga. You know, this entrepreneurial journey is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's ceilingless. There's no ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can go from, say, 200 to 500 to 1 million. You can keep going. There's no ceiling. That's the problem.
Right.
So, in all honesty, what's next for me, you can always keep doing, but again, depending on what type of life you're trying to live and the things you need to do, we get to set this on a personal level. One of the things that a lot of people, well, I never talk about or I never share is I support several non-profit organizations in Kenya. So I'm starting to shift more into wanting to spend more time doing charity work.
Right.
So that's in my pipeline, and I'm also starting to think about maybe starting a family before my eggs turn to powder. You know, yeah. So it's such a good feeling to I don't know where, I think it was a podcast I did in Kenya where I was telling the person when they asked me, or maybe it was someone else, they asked me, you know, what is success to you? And I said, I feel like success to me is going to a store and not having to look at a price tag, or deciding I'm going to Kenya tomorrow and I don't care about the cost of the flight, right?
Right.
It's having those options to do the things I want to do without worrying, okay, but how much is that going to cost? You know, right? But moreover than that, other than financial, really it's trying to slow down and see what can I really do on a large scale, like I've done business for my community, really charity work. And on the side of that is, okay, am I ready to be a mom now? Can I get that journey going? Yeah, that's kind of my next frontier.
Wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for sharing that, Mukami. I mean, I think some people find shame in saying that there's financial motivations, right? You know, we did a session a few months ago called Reimagine Wealth. And one of the funny things was when, you know, and I do it even today, you know, Wawa's mom wants to go to Kenya. I'm like, okay, I think if we wait anytime between like January 15th and like May 7th, you know, that's the time. You know what I mean? Like we put all those constraints on ourselves. Some of them because of the reality of how much it costs, but also some of them is the culture of, I know it's not worth spending.
Get the best deal.
The amount, get the best deal, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad your transparency about that being a motivation is good. Joyce, my buddy Joyce, what's up? What's on your mind?
Hey, how are you? Congrats, Jane, on your success. I've watched you from afar. I think I met you once. I don't know if you recall that, but it was a great day meeting you at I Am Africa.
Nice.
What I'm curious, I'm a corporate worker. I'm Team Ichi. right now. I'm in tech. Go tech. But what I would love to know is when you made that leap, which is one, congratulations on following your dreams. What did you learn about yourself the most from that transition to where you are now? What was revealed to you that that offering would never have been in corporate?
Wow, good
You
question.
know, you know what one of the things that was revealed to me was that I'm really good at, and I don't want to say I'm really good, but when things are very uncomfortable, it's also the time that I feel most alive. Like it's such a fine line between, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but it's my thing, you know? It's not waking up and I'm going to work, I'm dealing with the same people, it's the same project, it's the same corporate, red tape, and it's, I don't know what tomorrow holds, but it's my thing. So that kind of came with a bit of excitement that I almost felt like I was joking and saying, it's me with my hammer and my nails. I'm literally building my life. Yeah. So what was revealed to me is I like being in control of my life. And even though quitting my job is the opposite, that's not control, it's being out of control because it's so uncomfortable. There's a comfort that comes with knowing. I just read today, Amazon and Google, their layoffs coming up. There's a beauty in me knowing that I'm not going to I won't be laying myself off anytime soon. Only I can control if I'm getting laid off. Everything rests on me, right? So I discovered that one, I'm really good at bracing for impact. I know I don't give up easy first. I'm very stubborn. I'm very focused. When I decide I'm gonna do something, honestly, I give my soul to it because I want, if it fails, I'll walk away knowing, man, I did everything I could. Yeah. So I do like giving my all. I'm resilient, I brace for impact, and I love the process of today I'm waking up and I'm working on a small part of creating this life of mine. I think those are some of the things I can share with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Joyce, that was such a good question because again, I keep going to there's a lot of books in corporate about the discipline of market leaders and they identify frameworks that people use. And when I think about you, from the weight loss challenges you had and how you tried to overcome them, right? There was the discipline of working out, discipline of doing half marathons, discipline of, I remember when you did your first bodybuilding competition, right? And there's a discipline required to do those things. And if you take that discipline, then apply it into something else, it's like you already know the mechanics pretty well because your mind, your body is in tune with the mechanics of doing it. So taking that discipline and the mechanics and the resilience and adaptability and all those things, and then applying it into the business, I would argue that's what's made you so successful and differentiated you from others because you had that in you or you developed that in you. What do you think?
I think it's based on my background, being the processes, breaking up big projects to small tasks and executing. I'm a very structured thinker. I'm a left brain. I'm not a creative. I operate with steps and structure and those kind of things. And I'm also very intense personally and in everything I do. I don't know how to do things lukewarm. I'm either cold or hot. So if I say I'm going to try and start this business, I'm not kind of trying to do it. I'm going all in. And I've seen a few people online who are trying to build businesses, who are trying to do something, but I can tell they're doing it lukewarm. Because business requires you to bring it. You have to bring it. And how do you bring it? Bring your joy and bring your passion. Why are you even doing it? And part of that is also the enjoyment. Something would not be your passion if you don't enjoy it. Yeah. So let's see the joy in you talking about this thing you do and how you do it. So if I'm not going hot, I'm staying cold. It's not lukewarm. It's not lukewarm. And as Africans, culturally, we can be, our personalities were raised to be lukewarm. We don't want to be hot or cold. We want to stay in the middle. And I don't know how many of you follow, what's this South African coach's name? Vusi? How many of you follow Vusi?
Vusi Tembewayo.
Vusi.
Yeah.
I watched a reel the other day. He said it's easier for him to raise $1 than to raise R1. Why? Because when he comes to the Americans and explains to them that he wants to start a business and he lays out the plan, he thinks it's going to be a unicorn, they invest on the drop of his idea. When he goes to South Africa, the mindset of African thinking, he has to convince them over and over and over again what he's saying. But in the US, because their mindset of taking risk, growing business, doing things different, the mindset is different. He can raise $1 million in the US while he cannot raise nearly as much in South Africa. So again, it's our mindset of how things should work. If we were steeped in go to school, get a job, don't tell people how well you're doing, keep everything to yourself, don't brag on yourself, then it tends to keep us lukewarm.
I'm smiling because like you're reading my mind, huh?
Yeah.
The lukewarmness, don't expose yourself, and what if, we're talking about this, Joyce, you remember this, and Joanne, we're talking about the shame, if you kind of follow like African roots, there was this whole thing of what defines wealth in African traditions, right? There's obviously the finance, there's the health, there's having kids, and there's learning and development and knowledge development as you become wise. But there was this thing of not leaving shame. Do you remember like when you're sent to stage, no matter what you do not mess our name, right? And I think that as I reflect on what you've just said, that thing of what if I shame myself by not doing something right keeps us in that place of, we were talking about it last week, you don't, even in corporate, you don't refer your friends. Because what if they shame you? They come at you. And we think that it's such a big thing at I can't refer Jane because what if she comes and then she messes my name?
Right.
Right. So let me ask you this as we wrap up. What advice do you give all the attendees today who are at a crossroads? And I bet you 90% of them are at a crossroads right now and unsure about staying corporate employed or self-employed, right? Which is the topic we've been pursuing. But then I think there's some who are hybrid. Let me continue having it as a side hustle, just in case. What advice do you give?
I had said earlier, if you already have an idea for business, if you already have a side hustle, don't keep it as a side hustle. Think of how you can grow it to where you can step away from it and make it the main hustle and quit corporate. That's first. At some point, you're going to have to give one up. Your side hustle will not grow until you give it 200% of yourself. If it does grow, you'll be working 100 hours a week. And maybe this could be what Wagura was asking. If you have a full-time job and you're trying to grow a business, it's like you're working 2 jobs pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one job will have to lose out. I remember in 2017 when I got a job, before I quit in 2018, I got two job offers. One was from Coke. I was going to be a senior PM for a big data project. I was going to spend 2 weeks in Canada, 2 weeks in Atlanta. And then the pay was amazing. And then the other job that I got was with the state of Georgia. And I remember both offers came a day apart. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I can take the job with the really good money. And I know the contract is about 8 to 10 months. And after that, I can go back to focusing on my business. I settled for the government job. Why? Working for the government, doing project management in government, everything moves slow. So I wanted to make sure that in my 40-hour week, I'm spending 25 of my 40 hours working on my business. I knew I cannot be a senior PM traveling between 2 countries every month. My business would have been stuck. So I sacrificed the money to get time to grow the business. And a year, I gave myself 10 to 12 months. Once that was done, I was forever done with corporate. So you can't do 2 things at the same time. At some point, you'll have to choose. If you're in corporate and you're not sure what your thing is, I usually host a master class right about April called From Purpose to Profit, which is discover your purpose and how you can turn it into profit. But as I said before, your purpose is something that is very simple and innate to you. Maybe you just haven't discovered it. So spend some time asking your friends, quiz them. Hey guys, what am I really good at? Because you'll be surprised the things you think you're good at and what they see is different. And most of the time, the people around you can see your gift and your purpose before you do. And whatever it is, start to grow it. Do we have any multi-passionate people here who have more than one thing they think they want to do? If you think you're good at this and you're good at that and you're good with the other, what do we say about failing? Fail fast. Pick one, go, fail, come back. Pick the second one, go, fail. Like, test all of them. See which one is bringing you more joy, more happiness. That's a very important part of it. And stick with that one. I'm surprised no guys ask questions. Gilo, I see you.
I know I'm about to start calling them. You know, I have my friend Sam who's just been listening, you know, Mike, Gilo, Mark. But I think if I could nail it down to just one word, right, it would be execute, right? Like stop spending all this time of course, think, reason, try and just, but at the end of the day, you have to do something. You have to do something. Yeah. Who do you want to call out? Me, I feel very comfortable calling people out over here, by the way.
Piera.
What's up, Piera? Welcome.
Hey, Jane. Hey, you. Jane, congratulations on your success and thank you for your time this evening. Especially listen to you, always see
we can't hear you, Piera. We lost you. You had come nice and loud and then you faded off a little bit.
Oh, I can get better now.
I think you're holding the microphone, the phone on the speaker or the area. I don't know.
All right, is it better now?
No, go back. Like at the beginning, you were good.
Yeah.
A little. Or you can put it in the chat.
It might be earphones if she's using like Bluetooth or something. Sometimes that's hard.
Okay, while Piera fixes the technical issues, who else? I'm about to start calling people. How often do you have Jane here? Like you pay, like I wouldn't even say how much money to get advice from her, but she's here. Mike, my new buddy from Florida. Welcome.
Yes. So Jane, first of all, I just want to say,
corporate, by the way. He's team corporate.
I'm corporate all the way, by the way. Can you guys all hear me fine?
Yeah.
So first of all, Jane, I just want to say thank you so much. This has been very, very informative for me. This is the first time I've heard you in person. I've definitely heard very, very good things about you. I don't really have a specific question. More than anything, I've been just taking a lot of notes throughout this whole session, and some of the things that I took from this is the imposter syndrome, and also about just do everything with fear. Because what I've done in the past few months is I've taken on this new role, and this role I've taken is a vice president role in my corporate position, and I have this syndrome that I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, and I think that one message you just talked about doing everything with fear has really resonated with me, and so that's been something that I've taken away from this message. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, congratulations. Absolutely. I'd like to think that for you to get nominated or promoted to that role, there's something they must have seen in you to get you there. So is it going to be a little difficult to get a hang of things? Of course, but as long as you know you can do it, that's the other thing. You can take action, but you also have to believe in yourself, right? And believe that you can do it, and just go on and do the damn thing. And by the way, if there are other people who are in corporate listening to this, not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. There are other people who are really gifted in supporting other businesses, the vice presidents, the CEOs. You know, these are the people who send emails on Saturdays and at 1 a.m. and you're thinking they don't have a life. Their life and their passion is the job, right? Not everyone is cut out for entrepreneurship. I think right now we're really speaking to the people who've gotten the itch. They're churning, they're feeling disconnected and almost like there's something in their life that's missing. That is what we're talking about. Your calling is calling you. Now the question is, are you going to answer, or are you going to say, tomorrow, I'm not struggling, my job pays for everything, I'm comfortable, right?
And you know, that was so cool when you contextualized it in that way, that you get to a point where things are good. And this is the exact conversation I had with someone the other day who said, things are good, I'm good, but then my kids are leaving now for college. So now what? Right? So there's those probably events that happen in our life that remind us that maybe there's more out there. Piera, are you back? You want to try again?
Yes, let's try again.
Right there, you're good.
Awesome. So again, Jana, saying congratulations on your success and thank you for your time this evening. Personally, I haven't heard you speak. I've seen your posts on Instagram, Facebook, loved it. Looks very polished. And so it's all like coming full circle to experience you, because I feel like this is an experience. So thank you. So for me, you actually describe me, I feel seen, or I'm in the each phase. And the one thing that I told myself to do is like to put my foot out there. And so I am a corporate tax manager. And so I do taxes for corporations, but not for individuals. But I know a little bit about individuals. And so for everyone who's in the each phase, one tip I will give you is go ahead and open that LLC. The IRS allows you to make losses for 3 years without disallowing it. So I have done that for myself. I have my little LLC, I have my name. And so as I continue to feel the pressure behind, okay, I need to do something, time is not on my side, then I will continue to figure it out. So thanks again. I will be looking forward to that bootcamp email, and really, really enjoyed this. I hope everyone else did too.
Thank you so much, Pierre, and thank you for letting us know that the itch is knocking. It's getting you a little uncomfortable. You've already incorporated or created that LLC. That's a good step to show you that you're already thinking about it. Yeah, so great all around, and very nice to meet you in person.
Wow. So why don't you, Mukami, I know everyone knows you, but is there something you can drop in the chat of how they can reach you? What's the best way for them to reach you and start preparing for that boot camp?
I'm gonna drop the link in your Facebook group.
Okay.
And I'm going to drop it in the Facebook group, and I'm gonna share it because I need to find it first. And it's going to be a link where they can click to join the wait list. And when I start talking about it, they'll be the first to get the email about the online business bootcamp. So I'm gonna share it in the group, or give it to you to share as well.
Awesome. Okay. I need you to rest because I can go on talking forever and I know you're busy.
Way past your bedtime.
Way past your bedtime. And so I appreciate the sacrifice of just joining me. For those of you who weren't here at the beginning, I told Jane, I was like, me, I'm team corporate all the way. I've ended the call saying, I think I'll do a couple of years. Me, Joyce, Viera, we'll do a couple of years, but the itch still exists. The advice?
Absolutely. There's no time. Remember, we have some stats. How old was what's our KFC guy?
The Colonel Sanders started
right. He was in his 50s. Most people really start this journey and succeed in their 40s and 50s. So we're still good on time. We're good.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to summarize a lot of the notes. I'll put the recording together. I'll upload it. For those of you who joined, thank you for your time. I normally schedule these for an hour, but certainly the conversations are so good they go beyond the hour. Yeah, Jane, I just really appreciate you joining. In fact, I take a screenshot. I failed to take a screenshot last time. So, when you're ready and smiling, let's do it. Okay. Any last thoughts before insightful conversations? Oh, my new friend, Waboy Kavanagh. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of familiar names. Awesome.
Yeah. Do you know most of these people here, right?
I do. I do. Guys, have a good night. This was fun. It was pleasurable. And good luck to you all. I'm in the Facebook community with Ichi. I'm going to drop something, and feel free to drop me a DM if you need to.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jane. Have a good night, okay?
Thank you, too. Have a good weekend.
See ya.
Hey, Ichi. I just thought of something funny.
What's that?
As hybrid people, we're becoming.
So we're going through that little transformation or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, like you described it, the itch is there, but then there's just something about being tied to this corporate that's so pleasurable. Yeah. But I think that's the purpose of the call, is now you have a lot of information that you can think about and say, okay, if I were to make the move to whatever it is, right? At least I'm not going to recreate the wheel, because there's all this stuff that I know now that I can start working on, Yeah, but I'm glad you joined. Thank you so much for joining, and come to ATL sometime. You guys should come to ATL. Yeah, where are you located?
Who, me? I'm in Memphis. I'm not far from you.
Okay.
But
yeah, come to ATL. We have the Jeans and the Janes,
I can tell. That's where the squad is at. But karibuni, even you guys over here. Karibu sana.
Okay. Awesome.
Bye.
Thanks for joining. See you.
Goodbye.
Bye.